All right, we're going to talk about SEAL Team 6. But this isn't the story you think you know. We're not just talking about the famous missions. We're diving deep into a renegade playbook, a mindset that literally broke every rule in the book to create a whole new standard of excellence. So, devils with green faces. That wasn't a nickname from Friends. No. That's what the Viet Cong called the very first Navy SEALs. It just perfectly captures that mysterious, almost mythical reputation they built from the very beginning. And that reputation, well, it set the stage for everything that was about to happen. And that story really starts with one man, a complete renegade who didn't just earn that fearsome reputation, he saw a future threat that the rest of the military was totally blind to. His name was Richard Marcinko. I mean, just look at this guy's highlight reel. Marcinko wasn't original, there from the very start when the SEALs were created. His nickname, Demo Dick, tells you pretty much everything you need to know about his specialty. And in Vietnam, he got so good at disrupting the enemy that the Viet Cong actually put a bounty on his head. That's not just being good at your job. That's legendary. But when the war was over, Marcinko didn't just kick back. He looked around and saw the military getting comfortable, complacent even. He knew that all the old tactics were basically useless against this new threat rising on the horizon, terrorism. And he realized our own security had massive glaring holes in it. So what do you do when you see a problem that nobody else is taking seriously? Well, if you're Demo Dick Marcinko, you don't just write a memo. No way. You build a team to prove just how vulnerable the whole system is by breaking it from the inside. And this was his solution, a red team. He handpicked a squad of SEALs, and their only job was to think and act like terrorists to test the Navy security. And the stuff they did was audacious. I mean, they snuck onto nuclear submarines, planted freak bombs, and even kidnapped high-ranking commanders from their own bases. It was wild, but it proved, without a doubt, that Marcinko was great. The vulnerabilities were absolutely real. And this really gets to the core of the conflict Marcinko was up against. On one side, you have his approach, unconventional, proactive, always breaking the status quo to make things stronger. And on the other side, you have this massive bureaucracy, a system designed to preserve itself at all costs, to react to problems, not get ahead of them. And as you can probably guess, kidnapping admirals didn't exactly make him popular. And you can see a direct line right here. The original SEAL teams get formed back in '62. Then, Marcinko's Red Team, as controversial as it was, proves that something new is desperately needed. After fighting tooth and nail for it, that Red Team officially becomes the heart of a brand new unit. And in 1980, SEAL Team 6 is born. Okay, so the team is official, but what really made it so different? What was the cultural DNA that Marcinko built into it from day one? It wasn't just about being tougher, it was about a completely different way of thinking, built on 3 core pillars. Pillar number 1 is curiosity. And this isn't some passive, oh, that's interesting kind of thing. No, this is an aggressive, relentless drive to question everything, to look at a standard procedure and just ask, why? It's the engine that just refuses to accept because that's how we've always done it as an answer. So if curiosity finds the opportunity, pillar 2, innovation, is what takes action. This is about having the guts to actually break the old way of doing things to build something new from the ground up. It's about grabbing ideas from anywhere and everywhere. Ancient battle tactics, brand new technology, whatever it takes to get an edge. And the third pillar, which might just be the hardest one to master, is simplicity. In a world that loves to make things more and more complex, the goal here is to subtract. It's all about cutting out the noise, mastering a few critical skills, and becoming absolutely ruthlessly effective at the mission that actually matters. So we've got the principles, curiosity, innovation, and simplicity. But principles are pretty useless if you don't actually apply them. So how did they put these big ideas to work in the real world? When you create a culture of innovation, you get a ton of ideas. The challenge is sorting through them. That's where something like the FITS model comes in. It's a really simple filter. Before you chase a new idea, you ask 4 quick questions. Does it FIT our mission? Is it actually important right now? Is the timing right? And can we do this with simplicity, or is it going to turn into a complicated mess? And to really nail that third pillar, simplicity, you need a tool to cut through all the distractions. This is the Eisenhower matrix. It's a classic for a reason. It forces you to separate the things that feel urgent, like a million notifications, from the things that are truly important. The goal is to live in those top 2 boxes, focusing all your energy on what actually moves the mission forward. When you put all of this together, the renegade history, the 3 pillars, the practical tools, what you end up with is so much more than a playbook. It's a code. It's a way of operating that is just relentlessly focused on excellence and getting better every single day. And this quote, which is literally painted where these guys train, it's the perfect summary of that code. It's this brutal, honest reminder that whatever you accomplished in the past, it doesn't matter. Yesterday's win is history. The only thing that matters is facing today's challenge and finding a way to be better tomorrow. It's a commitment to never, ever being satisfied. Which really brings this all back to a final question for you. The entire reason SEAL Team 6 exists is because one guy saw a broken status quo and had the courage to do something about it. So, what about you? In your work, in your life, what's the accepted way of doing things that's holding you back? What status quo are you ready to break?